When a buddy of mine told me his shop's old refrigerant recovery unit finally gave out, I could hear the sigh in his voice. He wasn't just worried about the downtime, he was also stressing over the price tag of a new machine that could handle both our 134A and the newer HFO 1234YF without him having to buy two separate rigs. He asked me, "Is there a decent all-in-one that won't drain my cash and actually work on a daily basis?" I felt the same hesitation when I started digging into the options, because in this niche $2,000 plus investment can feel like gambling if you're not sure it'll fit the shop's workflow. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Coolair Duo AC Machine Pro from Loco Store landed on my radar because it promises a full automatic dual refrigerant service with a 7-inch touch display that supposedly holds a database of refrigerants and service procedures. That sounded appealing, but I wanted to see whether the claim of precision service performance actually translates into less time spent on each car, and whether the high-efficiency components truly bring the kind of savings a small independent shop would notice. The real question for anyone thinking about this kind of equipment is whether the convenience of a dual system outweighs the extra weight, power draw, and potential learning curve. First, let's set the stage for what an automotive AC recovery and recharge station does in a typical garage. When a mechanic pulls a refrigerant charge to repair a leak or replace a compressor, the machine must safely extract the gas, filter out moisture and contaminants, and then safely return the cleaned refrigerant to the system. Traditionally, shops used separate units for older R134A systems and the newer HFO 1234YF, because the pressures and flow rates differ enough that a single-purpose machine can be tuned for each refrigerant. The Duo AC Pro claims to handle both gases in one package, which means you can keep a single set of hoses, a single vacuum pump, and a single display screen on the wall. For a shop that services both older domestic models and newer luxury imports, that eliminates the need to guess which unit you need for a given job. What I liked most in the practical sense is the touchscreen interface. In my research, I found that the 7-inch panel actually runs a database of the most common refrigerant specifications, so you can select the car make and model, and the system populates the target pressures and recommended flow rates. In a real-world scenario, that cuts down on the time you'd otherwise spend flipping through a service manual or a PDF on a phone. When a vehicle arrives with a mixed refrigerant issue, a not uncommon occurrence on cars that have been serviced by multiple shops, the machine prompts you to run a purge cycle before the recovery, which prevents cross-contamination that could otherwise damage the new compressor. The dual refrigerant capability also shows its worth when a shop runs a mixed fleet. I spoke with a technician who mentioned that his shop services both a fleet of rental sedans, mostly R134A, and a few newer electric SUVs, which use HFO 1234YF. Previously, he would have to keep two separate recovery units on standby, which took up extra floor space and required separate maintenance schedules. The Duo AC's single-pump design reduces that clutter, and because it's a fully automatic unit, the technician can set the machine to recover, filter, and recharge with a single button press, freeing up his hands for other tasks. That kind of workflow improvement is where the value actually lives, not just in the headline specs. That said, there are trade-offs that become clear after a few days on the floor. The unit is heavier than a single refrigerant system, which means you need a sturdy bench or a dedicated cart to move it safely. The power draw is also higher. The machine pulls a fair amount of amperage when it's in active recovery mode, so you'll want to confirm that your shop's electrical circuit can handle the load without tripping. Some users have reported a learning curve with the touchscreen menus because it tries to be a on-a-stop shop. The interface can feel a little dense if you're used to a simple analog gauge set. It's not a fatal flaw, but it does mean you'll spend the first few jobs familiarizing yourself with the navigation hierarchy before you can truly press the auto recover button and walk away. Now, who should consider adding the Duo AC Pro to their tool bench? If your shop does a steady flow of both R134A and HFO 1234YF jobs, think a mixed vehicle service center, a dealership handling a range of recent model years, or a mobile AC repair unit that services high-end clients, you'll likely see a return on investment through the reduced downtime between jobs and the lower chance of making a refrigerant-type mistake. The automatic recovery cycles also lower the chance of overcharging or undercharging a system, which can save you from warranty headaches down the line. Additionally, if you value having a modern interface that logs service data for future reference, the built-in database is a nice touch that can be exported for record keeping. Conversely, if you're